Hello there, my dear friend. How are you doing today? How has your week been? I hope you've had some breakthroughs. I hope you've had some momentum building. I hope you've had moments of glimmers of your possibility and glimmers of, wow, maybe I can actually really do this, because I'm here to stoke that fire, stoke that flame, and help you truly step into more of the real you, more of the fullest you, by answering this question of how to get from self-doubt to self-belief. I know that this is a subject matter that I touch on a lot, and I know it's something that eludes a lot of people, especially for extended periods of time. We can develop self-belief in pockets. We can quiet the self-doubt in pockets, but to really have that be a foundational piece of who we are, how we show up in this world, often is challenging. It's something that we're constantly kind of battling with and coming up against. And I want to continue to give you the tools and the resources to be able to navigate that, to be able to tackle that, so that self-doubt doesn't keep you down. It's understanding that self-doubt, having moments of doubt, is absolutely normal. It's part of the human experience. But living in the self-doubt, allowing the self-doubt to be the decision maker in your life, that's where we need to draw a line and fully step into the fullness of who we are, what we're capable of, and what it is that we were put here to do. Okay, so we're going to get into this conversation. So I'm going to draw on a lot of the work by Byron Katie. Her work is called The Work. And it's funny that the tagline for this video is the inner work that changes everything, because the work truly, it's genius marketing, because that title of her course and her ethos, Byron Katie is her name, is just, it is the work. This is the work, the inner work to creating your success, the inner work to take yourself from self-doubt to self-belief, the inner work to go from, shivering with fright over presenting yourself to the world and swimming in self-confidence. The inner work is the work. And one of the things that Byron Katie really talks about, and I'm going to take you through her powerful question framing framework to give you the tool to be able to make this shift for yourself. But one of the things that is so powerful about the work that she does is that it's all self-inquiry. And I need you to get that. I've had moments with clients who have resisted doing that self-inquiry. I think I do a better job as a coach now, further down in my career, that I'm not setting anyone up to fail by thinking that I'm going to provide them all the answers. If they work with me, they're gonna get given and spoon-fed all the answers to fix their life and all the answers to fix all their problems, because that's just not what coaching is, and it's just not a healthy relationship to have with the people that you're here to serve, at least not in my opinion. I truly believe that self-inquiry, self-awareness, self-compassion, self-celebration, can you see the theme, right? Self. These are the things that are going to help you powerfully shift in your life, and it has to come from inside. So my caveat before we even begin this conversation is that if you're out here looking for somebody to fix you, looking for somebody to fix your problem, looking for something out here to come in and save the day, I need you to imagine me turning around and looking in this mirror, and that's where the answer lies. It's in your reflection, right? You are the person who has the ability, you are the only person who has the ability to change the things you're dissatisfied with. Get all the trainings, get all the lessons, get all the insights, get all the mindset shifts, get all the powerful knowledge that you need to be able to do that. But you're the only person that can turn those insights into action. And that's the only way that things are going to change around you. So I hope that I set that caveat well. I didn't even introduce myself. If you're brand new to me and my work, my name is Sabrina Militello. I am a coach and owner of Empower Her Coaching. And the work that I do is life and performance based, truly handing you the power back in your life, helping you understand that to reach your peak potential, the power lies right in here. You are the catalyst. You are the change maker. And I'm here to remind you of that and to give you the tools to unlock that. So in this conversation today, like I said, we're going to dive into the work of Byron Katie, the work. And I'm going to start by asking you, what is, in this question of getting from self-doubt to self-belief, what is it that is fueling your self-doubt? Can you answer that question? Either say it out loud to me now while we're in this conversation, or, pause this video and answer the question for yourself on a piece of paper, in the notes app of your phone, wherever it is that you need to do that. What is fueling your self-doubt? Because the thing wouldn't exist if it didn't have fuel, right? Just like us human beings, we wouldn't exist without oxygen. It's a gas, right? What is fueling your self-doubt? It wouldn't exist if there wasn't something there fanning those flames, if there wasn't something there feeding into it. So what is that? And when you answer that question, maybe you'll recognize that, oh, I have some people in my life that continue to fuel that self-doubt. There's people that continuously remind me that I'm not capable. I can't do that. Who do I think I am? Right? Maybe you recognize there's some self-talk going on that is fueling your self-doubt. You're the one that's always reminding you, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? This isn't possible for you. Maybe situations or environments that you're in fuel your self-doubt. Maybe you don't see any examples around you of people who have managed to break free of the same situation that you're currently in, and so you don't see possibility there for yourself. Whatever that looks like for you, truly get granular in terms of, and what I mean by that is get into the nitty-gritty of what is fueling your self-doubt, what is fueling that lack of self-belief. And get really honest with yourself if it's you, because it's easy to pinpoint all the things out there, right? It's much harder to turn your finger back on yourself and say, man, it's me, because nobody wants to own up to the fact that they're the reason why things aren't going well. But in that self-acknowledgement lies your power, because if it is you, then you're the one, like we just talked about, who can change it, correct? So get really insular on that and identify what is fueling that self-doubt. And I want you to extract a singular thought from everything that you may have just written or everything that may have just gone through your head in the answer to that question. I want you to extract a singular thought, and I'll give you an example. One of the things that was fueling my self-doubt for the longest time was what I call my foundational stories. There are 4 points in our development as human beings where powerful things happen to kind of shape our not only personality but also belief system. One happens around 8 or 9 years old, around just before 10 years old, and girls often it happens sooner, and guys a couple of years later in these age ranges. So around 8 or 9, say before 10. One happens around 15, something like that. One happens around 18, 20, and then one happens in your mid-20s. So there's 4 foundational kind of key pivotal moments in your development before you reach 30 that shape not only your personality, like I said, but also the things that you believe to be true about the world and about your place in it. Okay, and this is work from psychology. I'll find the exact citation of the study that was done, and I'll share it. But when these things happen, we form certain belief systems, right? We kind of latch on to these things. And so when you're identifying how you're the one that may be the block, I use these pivotal moments to formulate foundational stories. They formulated stories about what was available to me, who I am, what I'm capable of, my worth, my value, all of those things. And when I share with you my 4 foundational stories, you'll maybe see something of yourself in there, but maybe you'll understand, if you know my story, why things were so hard. My 4 foundational stories were: you are not enough, you do not matter, you do not belong, and you do not get chosen. Those are my 4 foundational stories. All 4 were negative. And they don't have to be negative. I'm not asking you to look for negative stories, but I want you to find like pivotal moments or pivotal belief systems that you have about yourself. Mine were, you do not matter, you are not enough, you do not belong, and you do not get chosen, right? So everything that was true about my life up until about, I want to say 4 years ago or so, was because like I was blaming those foundational stories. Those foundational stories were evidence of all the things that was going wrong, right? If something happened, I knew that I wasn't enough. If something bad came into my life, it's because you don't matter. If something didn't go quite the way I wanted, you don't get chosen, Sabrina. Why do you keep trying, right? These are the thoughts that kept cycling. So when you identify what your foundational stories are, pick one foundational story for right now, if you recognize that you have more than one, and extract a singular thought. I'm going to take everything is always harder for you. Okay, that kind of like lands across all 4 of those stories. But one of the things that was always true for me in my mind was everything is always harder for you. Other people can succeed and do well, and it's easier for them, it's simpler for them, but everything is always harder for you, right? So when you extract that singular thought, I want to take you through the work of Byron Katie to help you understand and extrapolate how that thought may be holding you back, and then how to reframe it so it no longer has that negative, destructive pattern or power, I should say. You ready? So you have that singular thought. And again, if you need to pause the video so that you can do this work and kind of extract that thought for real, then do that and come back in. So you have your singular thought. I want you to ask yourself, is that thought true? Is it true? Simple question. Is it true? And some of you may say, yeah, it is true. Everything is always harder for me. Okay. Second question. Can you absolutely know that it's true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? So using that same example, can you absolutely know, Sabrina, that everything is always harder for you? Are you in everybody else's life where it's easier for them and you're experiencing that it's easier for them, but it's harder for you? The question, can you absolutely know it's true? For most people, the answer to that will be, well, no, I can't absolutely know it's true. It feels true. I have a lot of evidence that it's true, but I can't absolutely know it's true. Okay. The third question, who would you be without that thought? This is where it gets juicy and good. Strap in, okay? Who would you be without that thought? And I do this because it's like a gut check moment, right? Who would you be without that thought? What would you be doing? What would be possible for your life? How would you be spending your time if that thought wasn't in existence? So answer that question. What would life look like? What would your relationships look like? What would you be pursuing? What would your health be like? What would your relationship with yourself be like? What would your habits be like? Your daily actions? What kind of job would you have? What kind of environments would you put yourself in? Activities would you engage in? What would you be doing in your free time? Where would you vacation? Do you know, like, get into it. Who would you be without that thought? Paint that picture, get really clear on it. Okay? And then the fourth question is a reframing question. What is the opposite of that thought? Can you pinpoint and put words to what the opposite of that thought is? So the opposite of the thought of everything is always harder for me is things are really easy for me. Everything I try is really easy for me. Or nothing is harder for me. I do this work on myself all the time, and I get chill bumps every time I go into this reframing piece. Because when you do this for yourself, when you turn that question on its head, and reframe it into the opposite, the positive, didn't you just feel lighter? Didn't your mind just open to possibility? Didn't you just think, wow, that's the power of doing the work? And this is the kind of inner work that will truly take you from self-doubt to self-belief, because we do this with doubt after doubt after doubt. Every time something comes in to kind of throw you off your game, to make you feel as if you can't do it, to make you feel as if it's not possible for you, you're not worth it, you're not valuable enough, you blah, blah, whatever those things are for you, go through this exercise. Is that thought true? Can you absolutely know it's true? Who would you be without thought? And then what is the opposite of that thought that you can use as a reframe to help you shift it and move forward in your power? This is the inner work that can absolutely change everything if you're willing to do it. And like I said, it's doubt after doubt after doubt. You don't do this one time with one thought and everything changes. You do this with all of those negative thoughts, all of those destructive stories, all of those self-limiting beliefs and those self-doubt moments. You do this with every single one of them until you become the person who no longer gets blocked by those hard moments. I'm not saying you become the person who no longer has hard moments, because hello, we're human beings who live on planet Earth with other human beings. There's always going to be hard moments and challenges and obstacles and things we're going to have to navigate and things we're going to have to do and go through that we would prefer not to. So let's just clear that, right? But you're no longer going to be stopped by the obstacles that come up. You're no longer going to be distracted by the struggle. How powerful would that be in changing the results that you see in your life? So I encourage you, if you were just listening this first time through this audio, listen again and do the exercises. Pause the videos in the appropriate moments and answer those questions for yourself. This is the work. I say to my clients all the time, I can give you all the strategies, I can give you all the to-dos, we can create time management systems, and we can schedule you for success and create routines and habits in your life, which we do. But the real work, the thing that is truly going to shift and move the needle in your life, in the results that you want to see, the progress you want to make, is everything that is wired in here that's telling you that you can't. That's what needs to be rewritten. So I hope this served you and gave you a starting jumping off point for that. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Feel free to share it with somebody that you think it could serve too. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel here, I would absolutely love that. You'll get notifications every time a Coaching Corner video drops. And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you choose to spend some time and some energy with me, and that I have some insights to share to hopefully move you powerfully in the direction that you want your life to go. So until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you later.